everybody. Welcome, Samantha.
Hey guys.
Okay.
Long time no see.
Yeah. Do you need an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay. This is like one of the best. If I were to go buy a camera.
Your phone is an incredibly powerful camera. You don't really need anything fancy. It's already in there. If you look on the back of your camera, you have 3 lenses.
If you got Pro.
Yeah. Anything made in the last couple of years. But even something made 10 years ago is going to be stronger than a typical DSLR. So the main lesson I want you guys to take away is you don't need to spend money on equipment. You don't need to spend money on all sorts of fancy gadgets to get good video. The only thing that's going to make good video is you, the person behind the camera. So you could have a cinema camera and still do a bad job. You can have a camcorder from the 80s and make something award-winning.
I got to tell you, I bought that camera, which I've been eyeing for years, but to be on your desk the day you started.
It's gorgeous.
And I was like, I'm going to play with this for a second the other day. Do not. Unless you were like someone that knows a lot of shit, don't even try. It's a whole nother world. It outputs different files. The colors aren't right. Like you have to do post editing. Like this is an amazing tool. So how do we get the most out of it?
So the first step is going to be a lot of just your setup. So
software
all the settings. These are right inside of your phone. The ones I'm going to be teaching you are iPhone specific, but every phone has a version of these settings. They come in every camera.
So if you just go to your settings.
Yeah, settings,
and camera.
So for what you guys are doing, you want to shoot in 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second. You do not need to shoot in 60 unless you want to put it into slow motion, which for today's purposes, we're not there yet. We'll get there.
Frames a second.
What? 24 frames per second. That is the rate of frames that your eyes process information. Anything faster than that, a computer will read, human eyes will not, so it's a waste of storage space.
Is this standard settings now will already be?
Your phone should come in 24 frames, but it's always good to check.
But it's worthwhile checking. You just go to settings, camera, and you can see it right now.
If you have 4K capability on your device, that is fantastic. The smallest that you want is 180p. That's pretty standard. It should come that way. And then if you want to...
Well, wait, auto FPS, that is always on auto. That's always on, so turn that off?
So that one is like in your iPhone settings, if you switch to the slow-mo setting, the auto is there so you don't have to do it yourself. So leave that be.
So, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Now lens selection, I don't understand what you mean. Like it is 3 and it just does.
Yes. So the 3 lenses on the back of your phone are different focal lengths, which means they're different levels of zoom. For the context of real estate and for houses especially, you want to use the 1, which is the one that your phone opens to automatically. If you want to do detail shots, switch to the 24.
Well, you do that by zooming in, right? Okay, so Apple figured out a trick, and I think, or maybe Google figured it out first, whatever. Somebody figured out a trick. Remember when we used to have older phones and we zoomed in, it was terribly grainy? So what they did was we only had 1 camera though. What they did was they took 3 cameras with 3 different lenses and software, they mesh them all together to make images. So when your finger just goes to expand it and zoom in, it's actually doing all kinds of gymnastics in software with these different lenses.
Yeah. If you pay really close attention when you zoom in and it jitters for a sec, that's it switching lenses.
It feels better to do 0.5 because I can see more of the room.
No, that is going to make spaces look small. So for the context of you guys, that is not what you want. It is going to, if you have people in the frame, make their body proportions and their faces especially look terrible. It is going to make spaces look small. It's going to make them look cold. So always shoot in 1 and zoom with your feet. Do not zoom with the camera if you can help it.
How can I zoom with my feet?
If I catch you zooming in to 4 times and then posting that, we're gonna have a discussion. That makes it grainy, makes it look amateur. And we are not here for amateur, you guys are professionals.
Okay, now HDR, when that feature came out, that was like a huge deal.
Yes.
And then at family reunion, they told us turn it off, and now you're saying, well, let's talk about it.
If you're ready to graduate to bigger stuff and you want to start editing, you can graduate to HDR. If you're not ready to start editing, especially color editing your footage, don't.
So the whole idea of HDR is I could shoot a picture of Blue right now and have that bright window behind and see Blue's face properly,
Correct.
right? That's what HDR is supposed to do,
Yeah.
but it screws up.
It's not very smart yet, so if you're not ready to meet it where it is, leave it be.
Interesting.
If you're ready to graduate, come talk to me. I would love to talk you through it.
So the marketing behind it is different than the actual,
Yes.
how well it works.
Yeah.
Still.
It just requires a lot of babysitting, essentially, and when you're on site and you're shooting and you don't have time for that,
Okay.
best to avoid.
And you get this whole thing in the post-meeting notes.
Yep.
Okay, now we've got our settings right. We're going to shoot a
Yes.
video.
Your camera's all set up. Now we get into what I was actually talking about, that the person behind the camera is what makes it. One of the main rules in cinematography is called the rule of thirds. If you turn on the grid on your camera, it will divide it into 3 sections vertically and 3 sections horizontally.
Mine, it makes a little tic-tac-toe box.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as a general rule, if you want something to look good, put it directly in the middle or line it up with one of those lines. For example, the floor, line it up with that bottom horizontal line that will frame the room perfectly for that setup.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah. These are general rules, break them with intention, but in this beginner class, we learn the rules, break them like artists later.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're ever shooting a person, put them on a cross where 2 lines intersect. Put their face right there. Yeah.
Okay. And avoid mirrors and glass.
Yeah, just because they'll see you in it.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time when I'm like with Snappily and they're like, we see
Yes.
you, and I'm like crouching, hiding.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a lot of those environmental things. Just be aware of where you are, because editing yourself out of glass is a pain. I
You
wouldn't
don't even
recommend
notice that
trying
you're in a
to do it.
reflection. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then light is everything.
Yeah.
Tell what does that mean?
So lighting is the biggest part of any shoot. It's going to make the difference between good footage and bad footage. If things are extremely overexposed, you can't fix that. That data in the file is gone. It's just going to be white. There's no pulling it back. So well-lit spaces are incredibly important. Window light, natural sunlight is always going to feel the best to the human eye. So open windows whenever you can. Turn on soft lighting. Always use lamps. Avoid big lights whenever you can. Similarly to what looks good to your eye is going to look good on camera. And in terms of lighting inside of the camera, it's always better to be a little bit underexposed than overexposed. So exposure just means the amount of light that you're letting in. So if you've ever just pulled up your phone real quick and started to shoot, you can see it looks really gray, it looks really bright, it looks just terrible. Because that's how the iPhone cinematography camera just opens. So the best way to fix that is if you have your screen, you tap on it, a little yellow box will appear with a sun next to it.
Oh yeah.
Touch that sun, pull it down about 5%.
Wait. How do I touch the sun? It keeps moving.
Pull it.
Oh,
It's a little finicky.
you don't tap it, you pull it.
Yeah. Don't pull it too far, but just a little bit.
There's no way you didn't know this.
I swear to God, I didn't know.
If you take nothing else from today, take that.
So next photo, does it stay there or do I have to do it again?
No, it'll reset every time.
Ah, good.
Yeah. When you're ready to graduate, I'll give you apps that will remember
yeah,
your
it's-
settings
look at
for
that.
you.
You tap it somewhere else and it kills it. Okay, cool.
So with editing with the new phone,
Yes.
you can remove things.
Yes, you can.
But it sometimes doesn't look great.
Nope.
And then if you start editing more, the face is all kind of.
Yep. The saying that we have a lot, because if you guys didn't know, I come from the film industry. There's always the joke that, oh, we'll fix it in post. If you say that on a set, you will get kicked out. The actual saying is fix it in pre. Anything you can fix in camera, do it. Because editing is a nightmare. It is a very long, very time-consuming process, and if you don't have rotoscoping, masking, visual effects experience, it's not going to look good. So if you're like, oh, I'll remove myself from that reflection in post. No, you won't. Just duck.
Time consuming, expensive. Okay. All right, so the slide sun icon, learn something there. So bring your exposure down just a tiny little bit.
Yep.
Long press to lock. What's that?
So once you have the sun exactly where you want it, hold your phone, hold it down. The little yellow circle, not circle, square will go in, out, and it will lock those settings for the duration of your shoot. So it won't change in the middle of recording.
Got it.
Phones do that all the time, and it
Oh,
ruins
because-
so many shots.
Because this thing is set to be so automatic and smart that
Yeah.
it thinks, oh, I'm going to keep changing
Yes.
while you're shooting to make the image better.
For example, if I was shooting Jeffrey right here and I exposed perfectly for his face here, and then I swapped around for a nice movement and then had the windows, while I'm mid-shoot, it would change and it would ruin that shot. Because it would start exposing for the sunlight there rather than the room.
But you might get totally washed out over there.
Exactly. That's why we lock it so it doesn't do that.
Okay. I thought it'd be the other way around.
I know.
Need to adjust.
Yeah.
Easy.
Cool.
Because it'll start exposing to see outside. Phones will always expose for the brightest part. And if you're inside of a house, it's not the brightest part, outside is.
All right, tell us about number 4.
So exposing for the brightness, that kind of goes off of what I was saying with exposure. Always expose for the really bright parts, because if it gets too bright, there's nothing you can do about it. If things are a little bit dark, you can bring that data back. It will catch all of that. If it's too bright, there is nothing you can do. That is going to be a white spot.
So you can always up your brightness later in editing, but if it's blown out, it couldn't capture any data.
Because all I got is white. Yeah.
Yep.
Like that was white.
You might as well shoot a piece of paper.
Oh,
Interesting.
I love
Okay,
it. So bright.
cool. All right, how do we
I like the golden rule real quick on the last one. I think it's
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Have
that's
your
good.
settings.
really, really important because we
Before you
never have ever done that. You know,
All right. Can we put our pip on, maybe? Since we need to show.
Just covering.
Samantha here. You wanna hold that? So-
Yeah.
All right.
So now that you've got your settings all set, we're going to talk about the actual shoot. So a good rule of thumb is if you're shooting something that's moving, you stay still. If you're shooting something that's still, you move. That way every clip has a little bit of visual interest so that, especially posting to social media, you keep attention. If we're shooting a film where people are stuck in a theater for an hour and a half, you can have some stillness, but in a 5-second social media clip, you don't have that time to work with.
I think if you look at any like 24-hour news or financial news channel, and you look at how many things are moving on the screen,
All the time.
it's always moving. The anchor's speaking, the talking heads are still, but they are in a box with a moving background, with the things going around, with the crawl, with all these things to help your brain have a million things to look at so you don't change the channel.
Exactly.
Same idea here.
One of the things that I usually think of to keep in my mind when shooting for social media is pretend that your audience is entirely 6-year-olds. If a 6-year-old's gonna get bored, change it up. Because like me just standing here, talking, still camera, I'm not moving very much, 6-year-old's not gonna care. So social media viewers aren't either.
Okay, so heel to toe steps.
Yes. So if you, in the context of real estate, most of what you're shooting is gonna be still because it's a house. Hopefully, it doesn't move. So, if we're gonna pretend Jeffrey is a very nice feature of a house. He doesn't move.
but
Step
he
one.
always moves.
The moneymaker.
He moves more than anyone I know.
You're gonna hold it at face level and then tuck your elbows down. So your camera will be level with your throat.
To start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you,
So
Bend
you're
your knees.
stabilizing it yourself by having your arms here.
yes. Your elbows come into your body to provide stabilization. If you've ever shot like this and you see it shaky, that's just because human arms do that. That's your blood moving through your body. So you tuck them into your body. You bend your knees and you gently walk forward, heel to toe. Look at my feet, heel to toe, heel to toe.
It's awkward.
Toe to heel, toe to heel,
But you can't.
toe to heel. And then the same for if I'm moving to the side,
You come in, guy.
toe, heel, cross, toe, heel. Yeah,
But it's very slow dancing.
yeah. And honestly, for the context of a social media, just spread your legs wide, shift your weight from one to the other. It gets the same idea. Or if you're going front and back, shift forward.
What are your thoughts on those, $100 tools that people have that keep it all stable for you?
If you're ready to graduate to that, that's awesome, but your legs are free.
Okay.
Until you're ready to step up to that, like I said at the beginning, a gadget's not going to do what you can do.
Yeah, because at some point it looks a little like, to me, like way unnatural. It's so dang stable. In some ways it looks beautiful that it's so perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's another next level tool. Okay, anything else? Ooh, clean my lens.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
Your phone lives in your pocket. You guys talk on your phones all the time. Clean them. They're oily.
All right, and then landscape always?
That one is for the context of shooting for social media in the terms of YouTube. Shoot
So
it landscape.
YouTube like this,
Yeah.
and Instagram like that.
Yeah. Match the format you're going to post it on. Pick which format you're going to shoot it before you shoot it. Because if you shoot it here and then try to tighten in, it's not going to look good.
But I want to use it on both. Do I have to shoot it twice?
Yes.
Okay. What's the 5-second rule?
So the 5-second rule is going to be hold still, click record, count 1, 2, start whatever you're going to do, hold still, finish 3, 4, 5. That gives you a little bit of room in editing so that you have enough to make them look smooth. Because if you just start and then stop,
Start slow and slow.
it's going to make your life less fun later.
Great. All right, yes, sir. Thank you for your patience.
Is there,
Wait, can you go back one minute real quick?
Go ahead.
as far as recording ourselves, if we're talking about a property or whatever content we're talking about,
Absolutely.
is there any audio that we need to be concerned with our using our phone?
The iPhone microphone is actually pretty good. It's located at the bottom of your phone, so never hold it like this, you'll block it.
Right.
And if you can, set your phone up, step away, and get from hip bones up. It's the most flattering angle for the most number of people.
Because I see people have some mic system or something. I don't know what that's about. Is it basically a woofer sound? What is that?
Okay. Some of us are nerds that like to play with gear. That's an honest thing.
Yeah.
She's right. The microphone array, if you're in a quiet place, like it's all about set and setting, right? If you're in an office that's quiet, you probably don't need all that stuff. If you're out on a road with people passing, you need an external mic and you need like a foam or a fluffy thing around it to stop the winds, a windscreen on it. Like it depends what you're trying to do. Other people just want to appear really cool, like they've got a thing.
Yeah. A lot of it, especially you see on social media, is just influencer consuming culture where I bought the thing that makes me cool.
But do I need to remove my case? Because, I mean, it's like
Depends.
deep in there.
Yeah, it depends. I would say test it out. And just when you get home in a quiet space, test it out. Just say test, test. Take it off, test, test. Listen to them. See which sounds better. A lot of this, especially in videography and in art in general, it's a lot of trial and error. Just try stuff. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You delete it.
I also think having one AirPod in, that is if you're, a lot of times your both ears are not visible because you don't
True.
want to swear off. So putting one AirPod in is way better than even those mics.
Definitely. That's a really good idea.
You're welcome. I know one or two things. All right, and don't forget, schedule your closing videos. We started making them. They're looking pretty darn good. We want to flood YouTube with information about your closings. Why? Because your closings are real data on why people should trust you and why LLMs should trust you to recommend you to people when they enter inquiries. Yep. Cool. If anybody wants to fight me on that, make an appointment. I'll win. Thank you, Samantha.